Get down.
I wrote that song.
There's people laying right there that are not moving right now, guys. Oh my God!
Shots fired!
Hello everyone, welcome back to The Current, the quick response news program from Jockey Club TE College,
where we report on the latest issues, events, and culture. I'm Chloe.
And I'm Arthur.
That was terrible what happened in the US recently.
Yes, a gunman sat in a hotel room and opened fire on a crowd of concertgoers in Las Vegas, randomly killing 58 people and injuring 515.
It was reported that he had 23 types of guns in his room, most of which could shoot 90 bullets in 10 seconds, basically showering bullets down on the people at the music festival.
It has been called the deadliest mass shooting committed by an individual in the United States, and police still don't know why he did it.
I just don't understand. How can someone get so many guns and just shoot so many people?
I know. We Hong Kongers can't identify with this tragedy at all. Sure, we have crime, but nothing like this, especially with guns.
And that's what it comes down to, we believe. Guns, they seem to be everywhere in America, and every American seems to have one. At least, that's what we know from the movies.
But we want to know more, and frankly, if this could ever happen in Hong Kong, can we in fact even find a gun in Hong Kong?
Before our gun hunt, however, let's watch a quick video.
Guns in America versus the rest of the world. Okay, first up, let's talk about the total number of guns. So for this, every bullet represents 1 gun per 100 people. So Japan has 0.6 guns, so we'll just fill this bullet up to represent that. The UK has 6.2 guns for every 100 people. Next up, Australia has more than double that with 15 guns. Germany doubles that and has 30.3 guns. Switzerland's got 45.7 guns per 100 people. And the US, 88.9 guns for every 100 people. So looking at that in another way, if this pile here is the total population of the world, then the US would be about 5% of that. And if this pile of ammo here represents the total amount of guns worldwide, the US has 35 to 50% of every gun in the world. So let's talk about what actually happens with these guns. After the Charleston shootings, President Obama came out and said this.
At some point, we as a country will have to reckon with the fact that this type of mass violence does not happen in other advanced countries.
So let's look into that. Let's look into mass shootings worldwide. We're going to use the FBI's definition of a mass killing, which is 4 or more random deaths. Since 1997, Japan has had 0 mass shootings. Same with Australia, they've had none. The UK has had 1 event. Germany has had 3. Same with Switzerland, they've had 3 events as well. The United States has had 3 in 2014 alone. Since 1997, the United States has had 51 mass killings. The next stat that we're going to look at is the total firearm homicides in these countries. We're going to use the statistic 1 out of every 10 million. Japan's rate is 1 firearm homicide per 10 million people. The UK's rate is 6. Germany's rate is 7 out of 10 million. Australia's is 13. Switzerland has a rate of 26. In the US, 401. Since 1997, there have been approximately 540,000 American deaths from firearms. That's more than World War I and World War II combined.
So many guns in America. But what about Hong Kong? What is the situation with guns right here? Can we find anyone who has one?
In our search, we spoke to a retired senior assistant commissioner of the Hong Kong Police Department. We thought he would have a gun.
But he didn't. Instead, he was proud that he didn't have a gun. The police had worked hard to remove guns from the streets. He was proud of their success.
We, however, were disappointed. Was this our first lesson? That not even retired policemen have guns?
After a lot more searching with no success, we finally sent one of our reporters, Joyce, to the China Gun Club. Joyce?
So now we are going to visit the China Gun Club to see what else we can learn about guns in Hong Kong. First of all, thank you Mr. Yan for meeting us. We really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
We always hear about mass shootings with a deadly weapon, guns in particular, in the United States. Do you think there is a connection in America between gun ownership and violence?
Eventually, it depends on the person. Because if you plan to kill somebody, you can do it with a screwdriver,
Yes.
with a car. So it's no reason to ban all the cars if they use the car to kill anybody.
Is it possible to get a gun in Hong Kong?
Yes, it is possible. But first of all, you need to be a member of a gun club with shooting ranges.
Yes.
And then you need to take a basic firearm training course. The syllabus of that course has to be approved by the Hong Kong police. And then you need to have at least 30 times practice record or competition record before you got the recommendation from the gun club. And after all these, the police will send out a team of inspectors to have an examination for you. And if you pass that, you can get a license to own a personal firearm in Hong Kong. One thing important, no home storage for pistol will be allowed in Hong Kong. You have to bring your gun to my armory for storage.
What about rifles?
For some people, they can have home storage for rifles, but the bow of the rifle has to keep in the armory of a gun dealer also. And it has to meet some criteria. That means you need to have a gun safe at home. You need to have alarms at home. You need to have 24 hours security at home. And if you go outside Hong Kong, you need to report to the police.
Do you know how many gun crimes there are per year?
What gun crimes?
Do you know roughly how many licenses there are in Hong Kong?
There are about over 4,000 licenses. Okay, let me show you some of our special guns.
Okay.
These are very limited edition of guns. Besides all the ordinary police pistols or whatever, Glock or whatever, these are limited edition pistols.
Wow, that is great. Made in USA. Whoa, I touched a real gun. Oh. Why are people so fascinated by guns?
Well, 80% of the computer games are shooting related. Okay, if you ask a child, boy or girl, when they're young, they most of them are playing with guns, shot and cars. So when people grow up, they can play golf, drive supercars. Why can't they play with guns in a safe and controllable environment?
Here are some guns in Hong Kong, but we can only keep them in the armory of a gun club. No home storage. Back to Arthur and Chloe.
Thank you, Joyce. Mission accomplished. We found a gun, and now we know that owning a gun in Hong Kong is extremely complicated. If you want to own one, you have to keep the most dangerous parts at a gun club.
So, what's the point? If you can't own a gun to protect yourself, why have one?
Well, like Mr. Yam said, some people see it as a hobby.
True, but that means it is a completely different world here than in America or wherever else mass shootings take place.
You're right, it is. Next, we sent Joyce out to speak with students about what they think of guns and gun ownership.
Do you think there is a problem with guns in Hong Kong?
No, there isn't, because people cannot get guns right now.
There is no big crime problem.
We don't have guns, we can find them too.
No, because no one uses guns in Hong Kong except for the policemen.
Hong Kong's under a quite strict legal system about guns.
Here is an air gun, but it is basically like a real gun. Hold it and tell me what you feel.
It's very heavy.
It's very heavy.
Powerful. It is powerful and dangerous.
I feel a bit nervous when I touch this thing.
It's very heavy.
So real.
Overwhelmed because there are bullets in here. When there's one bullet, that's someone's life.
Does it feel dangerous?
Yes, it seems like it can hurt someone.
If it could kill someone.
If it's not real, yeah, it's very dangerous.
I don't really want to use it.
It feels safe. Would you like to own a real gun?
No, because I think if everyone owns a gun, it'll just be like America. People will use the excuse of protecting themselves to kill.
I don't want to cause any crimes.
I think I can control it properly.
Do you think people should be allowed to own guns in Hong Kong?
No, there is no crime in Hong Kong.
No, I don't think so. Because for people who those wanted to plan attack, and they would just literally get their bring out their guns and shoot every single people and randomly. And I don't think it's a good idea.
Crime will be really bad if they were.
There aren't any gun crimes happening in Hong Kong, so I don't think there's a need.
It seems students are quite fascinated by guns. Before we end, we would like to offer a few reminders of what it might mean to own a real gun.
Basically, guns are dangerous.
They have the potential to kill, and owning one is no joke.
And owning one in Hong Kong is extremely complicated. As I said earlier, why? Gun crime here is basically non-existent. There is no need to own one to feel safe.
Only if you want to see it as a hobby, and then consider air guns as a safer alternative.
That's it for now. Thank you for watching.
And stay tuned for the next episode when we will discuss the new national anthem law.